Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hack.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail.
What's up, y'all?
Shut it down. Boycott these
My name is
motherfuckers,
True.
we can shut it down.
And these are my true stories.
Shut it down. Boycott these motherfuckers.
You like this record, huh?
Some real shit to tell you.
Shut it down. Boycott these
About
motherfuckers,
three
we can
black
shut it
Let me
down.
just say this. Truth's new album, I'm currently in the studio right now.
When you get paid, the whole world is waiting for
Like
you
all
to
of this
give
right
it
here,
away to
turn it down a
people
little.
from other races so you can put their kids through school.
What Truth has done, which is pretty extraordinary, he took all of these tracks from my homeboy, James Broadway. You know Broadway. And Truth basically rented a hotel room and on a 2-track laid his vocals on top of these beats. So it's impossible to really get a good mix, right? I talked to Broadway and said, man, let's get him in the studio and let's really, really coach him up and produce this record. And Broadway was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And we pushing Truth, right? We know this is a 90s flow. We pushing him hard, right? He's recorded 2 new records, and when I tell you, hot monkey lava up against this area right here, burning your jugular. Straight fire, right? We gonna re-record this record. We gonna re-record Marching Orders, and we gonna push him. I'm telling you, the album that's gonna come is gonna be 2015 version of Public Enemy, BDP, KRS-One, Big Daddy. It's gonna be fire. Poor Righteous Teachers, it's gonna be fire. West Coast style, America's Most. It's gonna be rough, and we're really excited about it. So I just thought I'd give you that context for Truth. Before I even get to the topic, you know I gotta do business. I'm telling y'all gotta support these businesses. First off, let me jump right here. Dr. Mark Goulston is joining us today. You gotta get his book, Just Listen or Talking to Crazy, right? You gotta get these books. And right now on Kindle, both of these books are $1.99, right? Each of them. $1.99 a piece. You guys gotta support Dr. Mark Goulston's work. These are some great books. I've read them. They've made me a better coach. They've made me a better father. Made me a better person. You gotta support Dr. Mark Goulston. You also gotta support Bobby Glanton Smith. Real Men Don't Play. If you guys tuned in to my Periscope before the show, you see Bobby was on 400. He was turned up, right?
His soon coming book, Sayings from Uncle Bobby.
Sayings from Uncle Bobby, featuring what if Jesus? What? Say it, Bobby.
Oh man, we begged Jesus off the cross and then had the nerve to go back and ask for the nails.
Yes, Bobby G. Please go support him at realmendon'tplay.com. Purchase a copy of Real Men Don't Play. Also, and I'm not kidding, goddammit, please go get a copy of The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. You go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com right now. I will mail out your copy tomorrow morning. Please support it. It's Christmas time. This is what keeps us in business. This book, my coaching, go to my website, order some coaching, right? You see the tab right there. There's a coaching tab. There's a shop tab. If you want to get the book, you click the shop tab, and we're in business. If you want coaching, you click the coaching tab, and then I'll contact you and we'll set up a coaching situation. Please support The Relationship Dismount. It's available on Kindle. It's available on iTunes as well. Please continue to support our movement. Now, Monica's Brittle Chips. This sister is out of Oakland. I want you to support this sister. She's struggling. She's not doing well. Tony B. Conscious brought her to my attention. He said, I don't know nobody that work harder than this woman. What she sent me was, what is this here? Delicious, by the way. Cashew brittle, I'm not sharing.
Yes, you is.
Pecan brittle, I'm not sharing. This is all vegan stuff.
Yes, you am.
So you're not gonna get sick off of it. And then spiced almonds. Man, hey, call her. Her number is 510-698-1468. She's in Oakland. Town business. Please support this sister.
Cashew brittle.
Cashew brittle is nuts right now. But she gave me almonds. She gave me pecan
and cashew.
And cashews. Please support this sister. Her number again is 510-698-1468. And once again, don't play yourself. Go get my book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship, at IamZoeWilliams.com. Please, please, please continue to support the movement. Body boop, booty bot.
Stop playing.
Kicking.
You wearing a body protector this weekend.
All right, tell them what you do, Kev.
Yeah, just go ahead to udemy.com and get that body boxing or booty boxing 8-week home system, because I know you put some pounds on your booty after Thanksgiving and coming up during Christmas, so go ahead and get that. Also, if you just want to learn how to knuckle up, so that's udemy.com/bootyboxing, and the promo code is ZoeWhatShow.
Am I literally kicking ass, Kev? Them kicks. Don't front on my kicks, Kev.
Literally? No.
Them kicks ain't working?
Yeah, you got some kicks.
Where am I most effective? My kicks or the elbows?
The kicks, actually.
Really?
Both.
Them elbows, they.
No, the kicks. Your kicks, actually.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm about to shoot him now.
you got to shoot me now, Bobby. I'm going to kill you with these hands, Bobby. These hands and feet going to get you killed. Little feet. Listen, a sister reached out to me. A brother reached out for his wife on, I think it was on Twitter. Chris, can you pull up this website for me? The Aria Rose Collection. The Aria, TheAria Rose, ROSE, collection.com. This sister creates custom handbags. And they're going to create some for men as well. And these are some high-end handbags. Sister, great Christmas gift. Black-owned business. The husband reached out to me and said, hey, man, can you promote my wife's business? Once again, for free. I don't know these people. I'm not getting nothing from them. I looked at the website, and it met my snuff test in terms of quality. They got some really nice bags and purses and all types of stuff.
Christmas coming up.
Come on, support this movement. Listen, my girl is on the line. Listen, the reason why this is my girl, because she knows how to do business with black businesses. She said, I need radio. I need exposure. Let me holler at Zoe Williams. She did an app for me in 2 weeks. My app is on the iPhone platform, the iOS platform. It's on the Android platform. We almost have 1,400 downloads on the Android, and we just creeping up around 250 on the iOS. Without further ado, Wanda Trotter from, you know where she from, those mobile, what is it? Is she there with us? Mindblowingmobile.com. Hey, what up, Wanda?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Alive and well. Cooking with grease.
Same here. Same here.
Hey, listen, if you're a black business and you're doing business and you don't have an app, you're not doing business. You're not doing efficient business. You're not doing effective business. There is a sister. Her name is Wanda Trotter. She's on the phone line right now. You got to connect with her. Wanda, how do they connect with you and how do they do business with you? Let's go.
Well, the best way is to email me. My email is wanda@mindblowingmobile.com.
Wanda@mindblowingmobile.com.
Yes, that's my email. My direct phone number is 754-777-9684.
Perfect.
And my website is mindblowingmobile.com.
I'm telling you right now, call to action. Go support this sister right now. She's doing great business. She'll make your business even better. She's made my business better. Don't believe me? Download my app, Zoe Williams, on the iOS platform or the Android platform and see for yourself. See how incredible this app is, man. She's incredible. We appreciate her. Wanda, thank you so much for calling in, sister.
I appreciate you too, Zoe. Thank you.
All right, you'll hear from us soon. My guy is on the phone. Let me tell you something. I got a hip hop. Listen, you want to know a hip hop? What'd you say? It's a girl. What's her name? Just put her on. Let's see who she is. Let's talk to her. She on the line? Hello? I thought it was my homeboy. I was about to set him up.
Greetings.
Hello, who is this?
Dial tone.
Okay, well.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, who is this?
This is Michonne Smith. How are you doing?
I'm great. And what are you calling for? Put us up on game.
Well, I'm calling to promote my business, more visa and passport services.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I remember her. Yo, my Uncle Marvin. My Uncle Marvin hooked me up with this sister. Right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
This sister's got a passport business.
We're going to need them, too.
That's going to expedite the situation.
There we go.
You want to skip the wait?
There
You
we
want
go.
to stop waiting?
What?
Holla at this sister here. What's the website? How do we get out of this country?
Yeah, what's the website? For real.
It's time to
Yes,
Right now.
indeed. The website is More Visa and Passport Services. It's MOOR, Visa and Passport Services.
More. Uh-oh.
You better stop playing
You better
games.
stop playing up in
You
here.
better stop playing games.
What?
She gonna help you get out of the country expeditiously.
What?
What is the website? One more time. Our listeners are very, very attentive. Say it again, sister.
The website is www.morevpservices.com. It's MOOR, V as in Victor, P as in Paul, services.com.
And you can really help us expedite the situation in terms of the wait, how long it takes. You'll handle all of the paperwork. You know, you'll get it done, right?
I can, yes. I do offer that assistance as well.
You better stop playing. There it is. Let me just say this. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to call in and allowing us to get your business out to the world. Thank you so much. And you know what? I'd love to hear from you again next week because I want to promote you again.
Most certainly, and thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on your platform, Zoe.
Absolutely, love. Thank you so much. Hey, that's pretty much it for the businesses. Oh, people always ask, where do I get these beanies? Tony Be Conscious. Go to his website, consciousint.com. Conscious, CONSCIOUSENT.com. Consciousint.com.
Tony be crazy.
Tony Be Conscious, man. Support this. I even got on a nigga shirt. You want to know what the real meaning of nigga is? Buy this shirt and look on the back. It'll tell you. Come on, man. Continue to support these people out here because they out here grinding. Freedom Paper Company. I'm just throwing it out there. FreedomPaperCompany.com. Support them too. If you can't buy toilet tissue, if you can't wipe your ass with a black business, then it just ain't gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen for you, right? Anyway, that's it. I promoted everything that I got. Oh, Weed Juice. He ain't here today, but you know what? We still love the brother. Go to weedjuice.com. Buy the brother's stuff. Support him. Keep him in business. Keep us all in business, okay? Hey, I ain't playing. I am ZoeWilliams.com. Get a copy of the Relationship Dismount. That's it. I'll be back in 2.2 with the topic. It's going to be crazy. Zoe What Mornings.
infringe upon, steps peed on. Dual consciousness, we torn, but we Quran in the King James Bible. Methods of our survival, self-destructive insanity.
The trustees, meeting for the first time, raise a specific question, which they discuss throughout the balance of the year in a very learned fashion. And the question is there any means known more effective than war, assuming you wish to alter the life of an entire people? And they conclude that no more effective means than war to that end is known to humanity. So then in 1909 they raised the second question and discussed it, namely, how do we involve the United States in a war? Well, I doubt at that time if there was any subject more removed from the thinking of most of the people of this country than its involvement in a war. There were intermittent shows in the Balkans, but I doubt very much if many people even knew where the Balkans was. Then finally, they answer that question as follows. We must control the State Department. And then that very naturally raises the question of how do we do that? And they answer it by saying we must take over it and control the diplomatic machinery of this country. And finally they resolve to aim at that as an objective. Then time passes, and we are eventually in a war, which would have been World War I. And at that time, they record on their minutes a shocking report in which they dispatched to President Wilson a telegram cautioning him to see that the war does not end too quickly. And finally, of course, the war is over. At that time, their interest shifts over to preventing what they call a reversion of life in the United States to what it was prior to 1914, when World War I broke out. And they arrive at that point, they come to the conclusion that to prevent a reversion, we must control education in the United States. And they realize that that's a pretty big task. So to them, it is too big for them alone, so they approach the Rockefeller Foundation with the suggestion that that portion of education which could be considered domestic be handled by the Rockefeller Foundation, and that portion which is international should be handled by the endowment. And they then decide that the key to the success of these two operations lay in an alteration of the teaching of American history.
T Radio V.
What did you play opposite Andy, Eric? Do you remember?
Andy and I worked as two employees at a network.
Okay. Oh, you're forgetting the other thing.
I played a news anchor, and he played a reporter.
Okay, but the other thing you did, the thing you did on the Andy Dick show, who did you play to Andy?
Oh, is that going to play my sister?
You played his wife, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played his wife.
Yeah. So what's wrong with that, Elijah?
Nothing's wrong with it.
He's got a great range as an actor.
Yeah, it just was funny.
Encounters with Eric and Eliza Roberts, Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on T Radio V.
Hey, I'm Dean Cain, and you are watching T Radio V. I'm watching it too. Right now. Seriously.
Hey, hello, this is David Faustino, and you are watching T Radio V. Do you see what I'm saying? It's television crossed with radio. It's all together. It's weird. Radio's in the middle of it. It's amazing. You're watching it. Go.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poorer care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send or coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind.
That's why I'm going to get my own show. I can get me some stuff.
So today's topic is, how do you deal with the terror from being terrorized?
Raise a specific question.
Here we go.
First of all, when people are terrified, they look to their leaders. And when you look to your leaders, the only thing you're looking for is whatever they're doing, does it feel right? In other words, if it feels like your leaders are at all in denial, it feels wrong. It feels like you're unprotected. Does it make sense? Does it seem sort of rational? Well, that could be an approach. But the other thing we look to is it doable? I mean, something can be rational, but it may not be realistic. So that's what we're looking to hear from our leaders. Does it feel right? Does it make sense? And is it doable? Now, I'm going to take a different spin on this, because here's the silver lining in all this. The silver lining is there is an opportunity to help race relationships because of what's going on with the terrorist threat. The reason being is what a lot of white Americans are going to have to do is to live with life never being the same again. Live with life not being safe as they knew it. Live with life feeling not in control and in danger. And blacks have felt that forever. And they could teach us how, not only they could teach us how to live with it, because that's what they've lived with forever. They might be able to say to white people, if you don't like the way it feels to feel like you're not in control and you're in danger, then don't do it to us. So I think there's a real opportunity here, but that's what it comes down to, living with life never being the same again.
Wow. Are you done?
Yes.
I thought you needed 2 more minutes. That was good. Normally you could be way more long-winded than that. That was good.
Well,
I'm proud of you.
I sensed Jeff Brown was coming in, so
No, that was big, and that leads us to our topic today. I like being creative with the topic. For real? You just gonna crunch on the mic? I got turn his mic off.
You know why he's crunching on the mic, right?
Monica's brittle chips, Bobby approves. But let me just say this. I get creative with the topics because I want us to see things in a different perspective. In the gang culture, if a dude starts off as a blood and then later turns into a Crip,
is that possible?
He's considered a mark. Mark-ass buster, nigga. Right? Yeah. Mark-ass nigga, right? That's what he's considered, a mark,
I
right?
didn't know you could
or
even
vice
do that.
versa. Start off as a Crip and turn into a blood, or blood turn into a Crip. You consider it a mark. You playing both sides of the field.
Yeah, you shooting at the same niggas that you was just shooting against.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my question for today's topic is America a straight up mark? And we're going to look in depth into false flags. When it comes to wars, does America fund both sides of the war? Huh? Was 9/11 a false flag? Was France a false flag? Right? Why is it that America, every time we got an enemy, the information that come out later on is that the enemy used to be the homie, right? And now the enemy is fighting us with weapons and money that we gave them. ISIL, ISIS. You trying to tell me ISIL and ISIS ain't Al-Qaeda, just under a new name?
It is.
First off, you ain't fooling nobody. You give it an Arabic name, right? Al-Qaeda. And make people go, God damn, the Arabs, they uniting. What does Al-Qaeda mean? Al is the Qaeda base, the base. Arabs don't think like that. That's an Arabic word with a Western term. The base. Right? Almost like Hydra. You motherfuckers are just making up shit, and then we believe in it because we don't have the knowledge. Keep the populace stupid, and they'll believe the narrative we present.
To the vulgus.
False flags. That's what today's topic is about. And what I want to really delve into is how does one protect themselves from a government that's perpetuating a continuous state of fear? How do we even deal with that? What's a bigger thought? Is racism a false flag? Please understand, false flags are rooted in ideas. If I can get you to believe in this, I'm going to get your civil liberties. I'm going to get them. I just need you to believe that all Muslims are evil. I've never seen somebody or a government or people attack a religion this way. Right? Just straight up evil. It's evil. It's the axis of evil. Have you ever seen that? Let's go into that. False flags. That's what we're talking about today. Kev?
False flags. Well, false flag being basically when you do something and blame it on somebody else, or do something to yourself and then blame it on someone else, or the flag being the blaming it on another state or entity. And
you mean like the baby trap? That's a false flag too, ain't it?
It could be a false flag.
It's your baby.
Leave it to you.
This your baby.
This baby belongs to the nigga with the best credit. Yeah, we gonna find out who this baby is today. Let me see your FICO scores.
Damn, he didn't even get in the building good before he turned it up.
I can shoot a 3 from the bench.
But you know, speaking of false flags, one of them is this issue of security. I have never felt safer in my life. I feel very safe right now. I feel safer than bear pussy. Because this whole notion of terrorism, terrorism, shit.
You beat us to the punch bottle.
Now think about it, man. We grew up in such dangerous communities, man, that it's like afraid. Shit, I ain't even afraid of the dark. You know, matter of fact, we got afraid when they turned the lights on.
On today's show,
as Zoe was saying, though, it is to
the sanctity of bear pussy. Let's think about this for a second, ladies and gentlemen.
Safest in the world.
How difficult is it to get some bear vagina? Even for a bear.
Bear pussy safe. Pretty safe.
I'm thinking about naming a security company. Bear pussy security. You don't get no safer than bear. You don't get no safer than bear pussy.
Bobby.
There it is.
Oh boy.
I forgot what I was about to say now. But no, to take the civil liberties. Civil liberties are what they want to take from you. However, you have civil liberties and constitutional rights. And those are two different things. Liberty is what is rights that are given to you by the government. Constitutional rights or your rights are what's protected by the Constitution. They're not given to you. They're God-given and they're protected by the Constitution. So those have actually been taken from most of Americans by the 14th Amendment. So now you have civil liberties, and what they're trying to do is to get you on board with the putting together of the one world government. So they're slowly and meticulously and methodically putting a one world government together. They did it with, part of it was the Trans-Pacific Partnership when they came together and created a global corporate government. And just a few days ago, they came together and created a global pact on climate change. That also is a part of the global government. So basically, when everybody joins that global government, they lose a part of their sovereignty in the country, or that state or that country.
It's already happening in France. So
That's exactly what France
after
was
the
for.
After the French bombing,
80
legislation has already been put into place to create the French version of the Patriot Act.
But the thing was that the people, 80% of the people after the bombing, said that they would rather give up their rights.
Look,
in order for safety. Before that, most French people were like, "Fuck that shit. We're not doing that."
Give it up, France. Boom.
So Doc, when we come back, I want you to talk about fear's impact on the everyday person, like how it just changes everything. All right. Zoe, what morning? We'll be back at 2.2. This shit is getting crazy, man. Is America a mark?
What it do? Is your man Money B from Digital Underground asking everybody to check out the Going Way Back show, your home for classic hip hop, raw and uncut. Join me
and me, DJ Always,
as well as Ty Teasy, bringing you the old school new news every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here
on T Radio V.
That's right, Radio MTV.
Hey, what's up? It's Tom Logan in the house, and you're tuned into T Radio V.
Now you done heard a lot of talk about me and my niggas. Them outlaw worldwide my figures. From triumph to tragedy, to right back on top, and niggas still mad at me. For pushing that big truck on 24 square feet in ATL game lockjaw. Now that's what my nigga got shot for. Being too motherfucking raw for this fuckboy. See the darkness, see the light, he wanna kill it. Misery, love, company, and that's the real shit. But in 2004.
Yo, what's up, what's up? This is Too Short and you're watching T Radio V.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Crazy Bone.
Man, I'm the bum Keith G, man.
And whenever you sitting at home and can't shake the monkey off your back,
yeah,
then just know every Wednesday from 7 to 9
That's
p.m.
right.
You can tune in to the Quick Fix and get your fix on, man.
Right here on TRadioV.com, baby.
Radio and TV.
Dog, how they gonna see us on the radio then?
Radio, I don't know. Or is it TV and radio?
But it's
one of them.
I gotta figure this radio and TV thing out though, bro. I don't understand. I'm gonna tell my mom how she gonna see
Get
us.
it together.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Okay. I think we're about to be arrested because we're standing on the sidewalk and you said you want to...
Move out of the way, sir. Move out of the way, sir. Move. But this here is the foundation for this. You can't separate them. I don't know what them black robe perverts don't understand down there. Contractors are going to come in. They be me. People like me, but on the other side. They're going to kill you. You're going to start seeing people, that person sitting next to you a few years from now will not be sitting there because they're going to be gone. Because somebody like me is going to come in and kill you. For all you wannabes out here who think you're the baddest thing in the world, I got news for you. You're going to meet bad. Not that bad can't be killed, but when you're talking with somebody who does this 24/7 every day of their life, they get pretty good at it. Right. Not somebody who just does it every now and then.
We've been standing here all day, sir.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Shame, shame, shame.
So that's what's happening here. So people are here and they're standing on the street. You can see what's happening. We've been standing here all day. They told us to come here. I can't move. I'm not going to resist a police officer. So I'm being pushed back by the police officer. So you can see this is exactly what the citizens have been dealing with. So we're going to... Anyway. Now you see why people are so upset here.
I've done my fair share of killing. I'm tired of it. And you're either going to go to the ballot box or you're going to go to the bullet box in the next 18 months. If you got that time. The new Constitution is all ready to go. They only need the right incident to bring it down. And they're working on that right now. We're not very far away from an event that's going to bring what you call martial law. That term will never be used, by the way. Yep. Emergency police powers will be.
Chronicle. For more than 5 decades, throughout the Third World, the United States has deliberately targeted civilians or engaged in violence so indiscriminate that there is no other way to understand it except as terrorism. And it has supported similar acts of terrorism by client states. He could have reached back further. In his new book, The American Empire and the Fourth World, Anthony J. Hall, according to one reviewer, connects the unspeakable crimes visited upon indigenous people since the conquest by Columbus in 1492 to today's so-called war on terror. According to Hall himself, the imagery of terrorism has replaced that of savagery and then communism as the main explanatory catch-all to describe the real, illusory, or manufactured enemies of the American way of life. So, on one side, ours, the use of terror either is not admitted or is simply defined as not terror. And the other side's terror is defined as the only kind of terror. Terror then needs to be put into perspective. Perspective, writes Lawrence Martin, former Washington correspondent for the Globe and Mail, is a ghost in American journalism.
Wow.
So, again, I try to put together content that'll make you lose sleep at night. Because you think by being asleep that everything's going to be all right. Sleep don't get you prepared. Sleep doesn't prepare you. Right? You could see in that video with Don Lemon, CNN, that police officer, he's something else. He's something more than a police officer, ain't he?
He's a messenger.
You understand? So with all of this happening, the climate of America is a fear-based climate. Whether it be economic, whether it be racial, whether it be religious, right? It is a fear-based climate. Doc, how does one even begin to wrap their head around a coping mechanism for dealing with fear? Because fear has a lot of firepower in your life. Talk to me about it.
Well, I want to build on something Bobby said, because Bobby said...
You don't want to ask
The
my
bear
question?
pussy
No,
thing?
You want to talk about bear pussy?
He wants to build on bear pussy. You can all... Bear pussy's a strong foundation.
Well, he was talking about that, but what he was talking about is that he felt safer, and I don't think it was being that glib. And the thing about... And maybe the reason, and I want to ask my I can't call you brothers, I'd love to, but...
Yeah, you can.
Why not?
Why not? My black brothers is...
Why you got to make the black
Yeah, why can't we just be brothers?
Why can't we be brothers?
Why you racializing it?
Fear.
You can't win in
Fear
here.
made
You
it
can't
good.
win in here. Just go ahead.
Go ahead, Doc.
If it's black, it don't crack. I'm sorry. Except if you're white, then you go cracking because you're a cracker. But anyway, I'm wondering if
That was beyond lame.
that was off the where.
Yeah.
But because what fear does is it makes people brittle, and when you're brittle, and if you perceive that there's an enemy, brittle plus a little paranoia is not a good mixture. And I was going to ask Bobby if maybe blacks are feeling a little bit safer because they have been facing brittle, fearful whites forever. And they've been kind of in the what are the things, the hairlines of a rifle? What's that called? The
Sightline.
Sightline.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Crosshairs.
Crosshairs. And so I'm wondering if now that it's been directed towards this terrorist threat, that that a lot of the white fear is that brittleness, out of control, and now directed at the terrorists. I'm wondering if the black community says, well, we're not totally out of the crosshairs, but you just never know. And I'm so I wanted to build on what you were saying, but in response to what Zoe was asking me, I think fear makes your mind brittle, and it takes very little for it to crack, and you will do and you will do anything to keep it from cracking because once fear goes into panic, all bets are off. And so you'll do anything to try and stave off the panic.
Well, first of all, fear is unsustainable, but the damage that fear does, with respect to what I've seen in my lifetime from white people, it fortifies them, and then they get affirmed by the power that supports that. In other words, white people have been afraid of black people, but they've been in a position to do something about it.
They've been able to, put the fear to work.
I'm afraid of them, so I'm gonna protect myself with the police force, the tax code, all of that.
Right.
The other way around, when you put that in reverse, when you just grow up constantly under attack, then without even being aware of it, you just instinctively know that, okay, ain't nobody gonna protect me, so I got to keep my head on a swivel 24 hours a day. And then when y'all have stuff happen, like, that's a big deal. It's like, man, that ain't shit. I just seen a cat get killed, and 10 people watched him get killed, and nobody said shit.
And the body laid there all week.
Right. So what the hell you talking about?
Y'all want to see a dead body?
They killed how many people last week? 14 people, right? Sent this country into a tailspin. Yeah. Shit, there was that many black people got killed in Chicago Thursday night.
What's the numbers versus Iraq war?
5,000 over 10 years, 7,000 in Chicago over the same period of time. Wow. So what's new about black? But here's the difference, though. If some terrorists or so-called terrorists come in a black community and kill 100 black people, it ain't gonna even make the news. Nope. Because it ain't news. Black people are used to getting killed, so that ain't nothing new. But if you get a white person get killed, it shuts down everything, and then we go into them camps that you're talking about. And that's what makes it scary, because white people are reactionary. Black people start marching, lighting candles and all that. White people go to the store and get some more guns, some more hand grenades, and some more firepower. And that's the difference.
And then Kev.
That brings up a lot of interesting points in my head, Uncle Bobby. One, when you, the common saying or feeling is that they, whoever they are threatening our way of life. There are two distinctly different ways of life here. When you say they are threatening our way of life as a white person, you ain't said a goddamn thing about our way of life as black people. Which algebraically means the terrorists ain't even fucking with us, really. They ain't looking for us. They didn't bomb Southwest.
Just like the Vietnamese was like, brother, go home.
No, not your
This
war.
ain't you.
They ain't after us. Okay? With the powers that be fuck themselves from this place. Whenever these people of color you saw terrorism from America, they saw it with a white face on it. They saw it in a Brooks Brothers suit. They saw it for real. The people who got slaughtered when the wall fell and Reagan took all aid away from the Taliban, those people knew that it was Ronald Reagan, the white dude in the White House, that did that. They were also looking at the fucked up shit that y'all do to people of color. So they're not after people of color. They
know
collateral.
the struggle.
Yeah, we're collateral. If a bomb, ain't nobody gonna bomb. I can tell you right now, I don't know where the danger spots are. I don't know where the soft targets are, but I can tell you where you can go and you ain't got to worry about terrorism. Slauson Crenshaw swap meet.
I knew he was going to say that.
Anywhere niggas hang out.
Jordan down.
I knew he was going to say that.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Niggas and Gardens.
Niggas and Gardens. Those are not terrorist sites. They ain't mad at us.
They're not mad. Let me give the technical definition of false flags. The contemporary term false flag describes covert operations that are designed to deceive in such a way that the operations appear as though they are being carried out by entities, groups, or nations other than those who actually planned and executed them. Now, who read the 911 official, right, the 9/11 official report on what happened and the contradictions that are in it? George W. Bush, and they put it on the website when it happened. George W. Bush was saying, before I walked into that classroom, I saw on the television one of the planes hit the building. Dude, that footage wasn't even available until the next day. How did you see it at a school in Florida?
Because it was CGI.
What's that mean?
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, let's just first incrementally deal with, even your false flags is sloppy.
Okay, back up. Okay, now I am as big a conspiracy theorist as the next dude.
Mm-hmm.
But to call the plane hitting the first building CGI, and we just keep going, you're gonna have to go on and clarify.
Wait.
What is CGI,
hold on,
first of all?
Hold on.
Computer
Before
generated image.
before we even get to that, we got to get to the fundamentals.
Okay.
Before we get to CGI, the Pentagon was hit by a plane too.
Supposedly,
right? All of the information, which, by the way, is not in the 9/11 official report. Remember, the report is a false flag, right? Because it's not the truth. This is Christopher Columbus is a false flag.
Better example.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm just. What happened at the Pentagon? They said, you know what? A plane hit the Pentagon, but there was no debris, no wreckage, and the hole in the side of the building was too small for a goddamn plane to have gone through it. Come on, guys. Listen, we got to take a quick break. We're going to get into the false flags when we come back. Kevin going to tell us about
those
CGI.
False funeral they had then.
Them false funeral.
Hi, I'm Moby, and you're watching T Radio V.
Yo, what's up, everybody out there? This is Crazy Bone.
I am the bum Keith G.
And right now you watching TRadioV.com.
TV and radio.
Yes. Radio and TV.
Oh, yeah. See? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bonnell. You're watching T Radio. Radio and TV? What? Perfect. That was perfect. Why are you asking me to do this after 12 drinks?
Hi, we're Marissa and Juliana Stove, the Stove Twins, and you're watching T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Hey, what's up? This is Josh Vietti, and you're watching T Radio V.
Hi, this is Casey Abrams from American Idol, and you are watching T Radio V. That was too corny. I
loved it.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hegelianism prescribes the Hegelian dialectic, which is the art or practice of arriving at the truth by the exchange of logical arguments. So it is, in theory, a means of extracting the truth. Hegelianism believes that the human mind can't understand anything unless it can be split into two polar opposites, fat, skinny. And the discussion in between would be the resolution. And that is how Hegelianism arrives at the truth. So, for example, if we were discussing the concept of weight, and we were talking about somebody who was fat, we wouldn't have anything to compare that to unless we had some understanding of what somebody who was skinny looks like. So, somewhere in between the fat and the skinny would be what the Hegelian dialectic refers to as the resolution.
The thesis and antithesis, since they are opposites. After thesis and antithesis, ideas battle each other for an extended time without either side winning. Both sides become ready for change. This change, or synthesis, is then brought about by the creation of a third type of government or society. Broken down into its component steps, here's how Hegel's principle works. Step 1, create a problem or conflict. Practitioners will either identify a potential problem or create one out of thin air, then exaggerate it beyond its actual importance. Step 2, publicize the problem and create opposition to it. The left in America has a tailor-made apparatus for publicizing the problem and creating opposition among the population, the mainstream media. By constantly covering the problem, the media makes the conflict a foregone conclusion. Step 3, offer a solution. Of course, in today's America, with its soundbite mentality, the simpler the solution, the better. And there's no need for it to be logical. The best ones are those that appeal to the emotions and make the public feel that something really good is being done for them, when in reality, something really bad is being done to them.
Go ahead, Bobby, because I'm pissed off.
Okay, well, see, you feed the propaganda to the proper gooses.
To the proper goose.
Proper goose.
Then it takes care of itself, because sometimes it backfires. You know, a lot of people feel Obama was going to try to spin this situation in San Bernardino into an initiative, a gun control initiative. Had the opposite effect. People went out and bought another gun. All right, so you can't always control it, but 9 out of 10 times you keep telling that lie, it's going to sound like the truth.
So do you guys remember that old science experiment with the beaker of water and the frog? Mm-hmm. You put the frog in the beaker of water, and then you slowly and gradually turn up the heat.
He stays in the water.
And as long as it's not a jump in temperature, he won't jump out.
Nope.
He'll stay his ass in there until he cooks. This is what's happening today. They're ratcheting up events. I've always listen, I was a kid in the 80s. A literal kid. Thundar Barbarian.
Yeah, baby.
What? You know, the Thundercats, Silverhawks, Space Ghost. Yeah, I was a kid. It wasn't a lot of crazy shit going on.
Nope.
And I was cognizant enough to know. Too many pearls strung together. These events are like pearls on a string. Just boom, 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 boom. Happening all the time. And they're not, to me, organic. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Just a random dude going to a movie theater, shoot up the movie theater. Hey, gun control. Why you shoot up the movie? Why we like Batman. Why are you shooting up the movie? Well, maybe it's the movies that's doing it. Always some kind of propaganda, right? Always an ideological false flag, right? I'm telling y'all, if we do not take control of what we know to be the truth, far too often we go to this cell phone and find out the truth. We go to this website and find out the truth. We go home and turn on the television and find out the truth. We don't have a direct experience with reality as it is. We're getting a version of it. And because we're not critical thinkers, does the educational institution teach you how to be a critical thinker?
The exact opposite.
Do they teach you critical thinking skills? Hey, wait a minute. Who said you knew what you talking about? Explain what you just said to me again. Break it down and give me some options.
You know why?
Because let me just tell you this.
Yes, sir.
My uncle, you met my Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
My Uncle Ben told me, he said, dude, There's more than one right answer to every problem. And there's more than one wrong answer, too. He said, you'd do yourself a service if you found out at least a couple of them.
Wow.
Bobby?
This would kind of, I think, level the playing field. If everybody finally admitted what station they really listen to 24 hours a day.
Wow.
And that's WIIFM. What's in it for me? Now, once you get off that station, that's when you end up living somebody else's life on their terms. Because most people, when they hear this bullshit, they forget to go back to the station that they are rooted in, and that is WIIFM. What's in it for me? Because they'll sell you on the notion that we doing this. We, the who? Well, who is we, first of all? That's the first question you need to, get qualified, is who is we? Because a lot of times they say, if you're an American, then you should stand behind, wait a minute, hold it. How are you defining American? Because the America that you talking about, I ain't never been there. All right, so let's get some things square. The station, ladies and gentlemen, is WIIFM. Check in there before you go anywhere else.
Wow. You know what's crazy, too? I'm going to give this to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? White people sleep, too. Right? When white people bump into the shit black people or the frog in the beaker in, right? When they run into that, the thing that come out their mouth is, wait a minute, I'm an American. I have rights. And then they get reminded, like, there's another side of reality you don't even know about.
Yep. Yeah. On the way to the cemetery.
Right. You still participating in the false flag that white is right. No, racism is a false flag. Classism is a false flag. Listen, we're behind the scenes playing y'all so y'all don't pay attention to what's really happening.
So, just give me 30 seconds, please. The greatest example of what Zoe just said was on HBO special one night when they went to West Virginia, where the per capita income is about as low as it can get for anybody. And they don't even know they're that poor. They were sitting up on the porch with no teeth in their mouth. I don't need no Obamacare. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But they had been conditioned to think that I don't care how bad my life is, I'm still better than a nigga. I don't give a fuck who he is.
Oh, yeah, Chris Rock said it best. He said, there ain't a white man in this room that'll trade places with me, and I'm rich.
That's a good example. It's that conditioning, man.
And I tell you what, there's something that we are all in this room at one time ignoring. That this is Thriller! Thriller night! I had to do it. I had to do it.
That's a cold jacket, though.
I was about to say, Jeff. Hold on. All you got to do is get up and do the Carlton Banks with that sweater
on. You got to lighten it up for everybody to commit suicide.
No, seriously, though. I think what every, and that's who got to wake up. Regular white folks and black women. When they wake up, now we got a chance. You know what? I'm going to say that for the rant.
Save it for the rant. Doc, we're going to have to find an antidote in this society for fear. Because that's the one thing the 1%ers have over everybody else. If I'm the author of what you believe in every aspect of your life, I can control the fear in you. How much you feel, I can make it go away by changing the situation, or I can raise it. How do we deal with fear? Is there some meditation? Is there something? How do we look at something and go, this is not real? Because right now, we in a dream, and the United States government is Freddy Krueger. We got to wake up. How do we get around fear? Is it possible? How do we invert it into something else?
Well, here's a suggestion, but it's not going to fly because it requires something that's gone extinct, and it's called patience.
Wow.
And I think what you do to lessen fear is you get the person to kind of punch themselves out verbally. So you lean. What Talking to Crazy is about? How do you deal with irrational people? And it's all about leaning into their irrationality. And so the point is, you don't agree with them, but you think there's something going on inside them, and you pull out of them. And it's interesting when you're talking mostly to men, this will be kind of sexist. You say, so what are you thinking? Well, what does it make you want to do? Geez, and how does that feel? When you're talking to women, so what are you feeling? What does that make you want to do? What do you think about that? So when you keep drawing out of people the 3 parts of their brain, which is thinking, feeling, and their impulses and actions, those words take it away from their reacting to not expressing it. That's why I think we had a show where we talked about how do you deal with someone who's dramatic in your life. Could be your spouse, could be your kid. Is sometimes they're dramatic, and especially when they're verbalizing, because they're trying to get something off their chest before they do something even more destructive, even though what they're venting about is driving you crazy. And so one of the things you want to do is you just want to draw it out of them, knowing they have to if you can help them get it off their chest, as long as they're not hurting anyone verbally, they may come back to their senses.
I like that. I can smoke a bag of that.
And to me, fear is, or what breeds fear is lack of knowledge or information. So
the unknown.
The unknown. It's anxiety over the unknown. So like, take for instance, if you're watching a scary movie, if you've seen the scary movie before, are you scared anymore? When
yes.
you watch it, you're not
depends
really
on which one.
Huh? No, you're not scared anymore because you know what's going to happen. So the best way to overcome
on a true story.
Amityville, not that one. But the best way to overcome fear is to inform yourself of the thing that you fear, and that'll totally take the fear away from it. And so as far as they say white people fear black people. I think they used to fear black people, but they've studied us so much now. They have all the information on who we are and what we can do. They may fear us regaining power, but as long as they have that information on how we work, in our present, they don't fear us, like, because they can, as long as they can keep us in this state, because they have the information of who we are. And
I would say this though, they don't fear us, but they damn sure do respect us.
Oh hell yeah, they do.
And I'm gonna tell you why they respect us.
Yes, they do.
Because if they didn't respect us, they wouldn't keep doing all the institutional shit in place so that they can be in cruise control.
Yep.
I think you talking about two different groups of people.
I'm just saying.
You can't just lump white folks. You got got the power elites.
Power elites.
And then you got the white the wearers of plaid.
Right.
The wearers of plaid.
I'm talking about the power elites.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The wearers of plaid. I'm so fucking sick of Jeff right now. Listen, we're about to take a quick break. The So What Morning Show is crazy. Hey, is America a mark? Mark ass nigga. Buster.
I'ma sleep like a baby. I'ma sleep like a baby. I'ma sleep like a baby. I'ma sleep like a baby.
If the fish swam out of the ocean and grew legs and they started walking, and the apes climbed down from the tree.
This is Quick Fix Radio. Quick Fix Radio.
Yeah. Check it out, y'all. We back in the building. What's going on?
Yes, sir. What it do? We got some super special guests up in the place,
in the building, we got all 5 live in the building. Bone Thugs in the building. Everybody.
We up in here
tonight, y'all. What's going on?
Hey man, I had to come see what this TV radio what this all about. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
We got Game on the line. Game, what's going down, baby?
What up? What up, man?
What's going on? Oh man, we got EPO dealing. Who is this on the phone with us?
Yo, what up, man? It's Akon.
Akon in the building. Who is this on the line?
Be Real.
We got Be Real. Who is we got on the line?
This is Ty Dolla $ign right here.
What up, Ty Dolla $ign in the building. Thanks to all the fans for stopping by.
The Quick Fix with Crazy Bone, right here on T Radio V.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
as usual, another burner from my man, Lord Zoe. And in honor of his dope red leather jacket, I'm going to try to make as many Michael Jackson song references as I can possibly in this rant. I think, as I alluded to a little earlier, there are two groups of people who are responsible for society rolling along on the incredibly thin thread that it is, because we have just been acting out of behavior. The dollar means nothing. Our behaviors mean really nothing. And as soon as those people that Uncle Bobby mentioned in West Virginia and Mississippi and South Carolina and Missouri, as soon as the regular plaid wearing, though the plaid wearers, you know you can't wear plaid in the country club. There's a reason for that. As soon as they figure out that they are being fucked way worse than black people, and they get it through their heads that it don't matter if you're black or white, and hit the jacket, that's when the shit will hit the fan. Okay? When black women wake up and tell corporate America and the Indian people that are getting the weave hair to just beat it. When that happens, and those two groups of people get to the place that you see in other countries where you see riots and protests over policy. We don't riot and protest over policy, black or white people. We don't. Because, again, like I said before, we have it too good here. The good, but that's going. That's going. Yep. We've had it too good. As black people, after, say, 1968, y'all had it too good. Y'all had it, there was a place you could go. Mm-hmm. There was you could mm-hmm. educate and relocate yourself out of everything but your skin. And when you had that little cushion, it got too good to you. So now, as the fire slowly is being turned up, that fire is burning that place that you are. And the first people it burned out was the white folks. Yes, the white folks first. For those of you idiotic broke Republicans, how the fuck you gonna be a broke Republican? You need to look at yourself. If you are still a Republican, I'm talking to white people now. That's why it's called a rant. It's all over the fucking place. If you are broke, if you are trying to figure out if Christmas is a quote unquote thing for you, if you are trying to figure out, in the words of Eddie Murphy, how to get the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip right now, you're trying to figure out how to buy toys, you're trying to figure out how to keep your lights on, you are being fucked the worst. Okay? The people who took your jobs are not Mexicans. They're not black people. They're the same people that won't let Mexicans, blacks, or your ass either join the country clubs. Okay? You can't join either, Jim Bob Buck. I know this show is being watched by some Aryan supremacist group.
Travis
Bickle. Okay? This show is being watched by white people who mean us no good. I'm talking to you. We're not fucking you. Okay? It's the white people that don't like you either that's fucking you. And they made you think that there is a big difference between you and us. The only difference between you and us is the advantage you're going to have with ammunition, supplies, and bases until you really start fighting us and we start taking that shit from you. All right.
And you know what's interesting?
White power. White power. You don't put the W in it. P-A-A-R. Power. White power.
You know what's interesting about all of that?
Yes, sir.
Tim Wise speaks about this all the time.
I love that dude, man. Shout out to Tim Wise.
He talks about it all the time. He talks about how this is why I say racism is a false flag. Mm-hmm. It's a diversion. It's a distraction. It's ideological sleight of hand. even in the Hegel, I said the Kegel. Sorry, there are no women here today.
Freudian slip.
Right.
What was Zoe's weekend looking like?
Yowza. All right. Crazy. No, but even in the Hegel dialect, right? What's interesting is, and Robert Anton Wilson brought this up in his book. This dude, okay. This is great. Robert Anton Wilson brought this up in his book Prometheus Rising, when he talked about the semantic circuit. He was talking about Timothy Leary and the 8-circuit brain model, right? Right? And he talked about the first 3. When you get to the 3rd circuit, of course, you have the oral biosurvival, circuit 1, anal territorial, circuit 2, and then circuit 3 is the semantic circuit. In other words, mastery of symbols and words. This is what's amazing about a dumb society. If I'm articulate, I am believed to be intelligent. And that's not true.
Wow.
So when we come back to the Hegel,
you're going to have to repeat that. That's woo.
If I'm articulate, I'm automatically believed to be intelligent.
That's right.
Just because you're articulate doesn't mean you're intelligent. But if you can field an articulate argument, this is the Hegel. This is debating. This is protagonist versus antagonist. This is Democrat versus Republican. This is making a mess live on the air. I'm just saying. So what happens is, this is why the charismatic leader in the black community gets to say all types of articulate dumb shit.
Yep.
Keep hope alive.
And then we're swept away into it, and at the end of the day, nobody steps back and go, well, wait a minute.
Up with hope, down with dope.
What did you just say?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
How the fuck we gonna follow you into this burning house you already acknowledged was a burning house way back in the 60s before you got killed? So we gonna keep going into the burning house? Because you said it might be hope that the house may not burn all the way, but it's on fire. And you telling us to go in now?
No phosphorus suits or nothing.
Come on.
We just gonna walk our asses into this barbecue and joint.
Come on, man. Kev?
Well, all this false flag bullshit that they keep putting out on you, as we said before, is to usurp your constitutional rights. But there's a doctrine called parens patriae.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
You heard that? So
go ahead.
Parens patriae is, in Latin, it means government as parent, or as the parent. So this is the definition of parens patriae: father of his country, parent of the country. In England, the king. In the United States, the state as a sovereign, referring to the sovereign power of guardianship over persons under disability, such as minors, insane and incompetent persons. So you don't even know, being under the 14th Amendment, which is what everyone is now, that labels you as an incompetent or insane person. And definitely, and black people carrying the term minority, that means legally, when you look up the term minority in a legal dictionary, it says insane person.
Wait a minute. Is this why when you get a lawyer
or an infant, which is
you're
an
considered
insane person,
you're considered an infant because you
Right.
can't speak for yourself.
Right. So minority is infant. Infant means insane person, I should say. It goes back to insane person.
Bobby?
It comes back to who's in charge of your thoughts. The sooner people realize you came in this world alone, I don't care if you got a Siamese twin, you still have a thought process of your own until you relinquish that. And it's like freedom. What is freedom? It's what you impose or what you subject yourself to. And so all of this 14th Amendment stuff is technically correct up until the point where people say, no, it don't apply to me. You live as free as you're willing to kill for or die for.
Wow. That's why.
That's Physically.
Uncle Bobby.
What else matters? I mean, because you can say that's the law all you want to. It never worked for us. Hell, they changed the law in '65. Said,
Man.
okay, you got a right to go here and go there. And then
I bet it's some of y'all watch. I bet it's some of y'all watching this show going, man, I wish Uncle Bobby could date my mama.
It was straighten my whole house
my
out.
shit out. It was crazy.
My whole life turn around.
Now think about it. You know, we've seen kids, for example, that'll come up to you. Even your own children are sometimes a custodial situation. You can't do that. Yes, I can, because I'm willing to go to jail about this. You're not going to take over this house.
No.
Now, by law, you're supposed to give them a time out and all that other foolishness. Now, up in here,
I will get in that ass.
That's what's going to happen.
But
How-
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, that is though how they're taking your rights. I mean, you can say
No,
what
we
the law.
giving the rights away.
No.
They're
They're
not
not giving
taking
nothing.
shit.
Well,
We're giving them away.
Giving them
We're giving
away.
them away. It's a
But they're
difference.
tricking
We're giving
you.
them
They're
away.
tricking you into giving them away.
Whoa. That's brilliant. Okay.
Wait. You got go.
That what Uncle Bobby is saying, and I think something y'all is missing, is the walking into a building with dynamite strapped to you. That dude right there, fuck your laws. Fuck your boom. Because I am willing to die for this. Your law, you are governed by what you won't die for. But by what I say, I'll kill your ass over this, and you back up.
You know, this is an extreme version of the fact that people don't do what's important. They do what they care enough about. And so the question is, how do you get people to care enough about what's important to actually commit to it? That's the problem. A lot of people just go on and on. This is important. They don't do anything. And I think those people, and like Jeff and Bobby are talking about, they're really committed. They care enough about this. So how do we get, the bell-shaped curve to care enough about something to do something?
Carpet bombing, folks, with the same kind of information. See, this brother's a jewel in terms of his information. You just got to know what's worth fighting for. Right now, most people don't know it. I'm going to be quick, is that the middle class has statistically shrunk by over 10%. Now, that's that's millions of people who used to live comfortably, who are no longer comfortable, and they don't even know why. Because they start listening to folks tell them everything except what was really important. We already know that something is wrong. We know that, but it's not reinforced constantly enough.
Listen, we got to take a quick break.
We need to do this show every day.
We're going to come back. Yeah, this is an everyday kind of show.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're gonna get back into it. The So What Morning Show is America a mark-ass buster.
Cracked a little, but not the whole code. Up late, frustrated, crack a whole gold. Fuck, my DNA is
Andy D on T Radio V. Bing, bang, bing, boom, right?
Yeah.
Andy D on T Radio V. Bobbity, bibbity, bobbity, boo. Andy D on T Radio V.
The Andy Dick Show, Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. on T Radio V.
Wow!
But we'll do it. We'll do it better when the show actually starts.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy Kyle Master, and you're checking out T Radio V.
T Radio V.
T Radio V.
Hello, T Radio V. Love you guys.
Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
to drum up public support for a war on Cuba. This plan allegedly included bombing targets in the United States, killing Cuban nationals, and hijacking airplanes. In Body of Secrets, author James Bamford claims the plans for Operation Northwoods were drawn up by the Joint Chiefs of Staff and presented to Defense Secretary Robert McNamara in 1962. Fortunately, the plans were rejected. But were they America's only brush with false flag tactics? Consider the USS Maddox incident. Historians still debate whether this was a purposeful plot to drum up support for a war in Vietnam or simply a miscommunication. Declassified documents have shown that senators of the time questioned the Maddox claims, and evidence suggests the NSA may have faked some data to cover up earlier mistakes. There's an important distinction here, and it's one of intent. A false flag attack is one in which operatives purposefully try to lay blame at someone else's doorstep. Unfortunately, the fog of war, the inability to communicate quickly and accurately during conflicts, can all too often result in disastrous mistakes, from friendly fire to accidental bombings. While false flag attacks are not legal under the laws of war, they have certainly occurred across the globe and throughout history, although perhaps not as often as some theorists might believe. It can be difficult to determine the difference between a false flag attack or an honest mistake. And that's no surprise. After all, if a government or a military launches a false flag attack, it's almost certainly something they don't want you to know.
In the democratic era, where governments require at least a plausible pretext before sending their nation to war, it has been adapted as a psychological warfare tactic to deceive a government's own population into believing that an enemy nation has attacked them. In 1931, Japan was looking for a pretext to invade Manchuria. On September 18th of that year, a lieutenant in the Imperial Japanese Army detonated a small amount of TNT along a Japanese-owned railway in the Manchurian city of Mukden. The act was blamed on Chinese dissidents and used to justify the occupation of Manchuria just 6 months later. When the deception was later exposed, Japan was diplomatically shunned and forced to withdraw from the League of Nations. In 1939, Heinrich Himmler masterminded a plan to convince the public that Germany was the victim of Polish aggression in order to justify the invasion of Poland. It culminated in an attack on Sender Gleiwitz, a German radio station near the Polish border, by Polish prisoners who were dressed up in Polish military uniforms, shot dead, and left at the station. The Germans then broadcast an anti-German message in Polish from the station, pretended that it had come from a Polish military unit that had attacked Sender Gleiwitz, and presented the dead bodies as evidence of the attack. Hitler invaded Poland immediately thereafter, starting World War II. In 1954, the Israelis hired a number of Egyptian Jews to plant bombs in American and British cinemas, libraries, and other civilian targets, to be blamed on the Muslim Brotherhood or other malcontents. The plan, known as the Lavon Affair, was part of an effort to convince the British to retain their military presence in the occupied Suez Canal zone. Several bombings took place, but the British were ultimately forced out after Nasser nationalized the canal in 1956.
We're back. What Morning Show, T Radio V, that's radio and TV. And I've been turned up all day.
All day.
I've been turned up all day. Because this topic really pisses me off. And as is commonplace, I waited all year to do this topic. This was the topic that I had in mind at the end of 2014.
The mastermind.
You know, I tend to write out a bunch of topics going into the new year.
He writes some shit out.
But I waited because I knew there was going to be a progression. Right? Obsolescence. I'll talk about that in my final thought. But to believe in anything that comes out of a fork-tongued mouth,
It's just foolish.
It's just foolish. The same people that condemn people, that kill people, that murder people, that maim people, are the same people that are the authors of what we consider to be the moral high ground. That right there just boggles me.
So what are the qualities of someone that it's safe to believe in or believe? You know, or should you believe nobody because everybody has mixed agendas and the what's in it for me kind of thing?
Well, let's go deeper into that.
You know, what would be the quality of someone that you believe and trust? And I'll hear
we can all answer this. For me, it's respect for my version of reality. Because it's all subjective. How you see it, how I see it, how they see it, it's all subjective, and none of it is the ultimate truth, but it's the truth to me. So if I come in contact with somebody that has at least a respect, they may not understand my perspective, but they respect the fact that I have one of my own. To me, I can feel safe around that person. But look at how false flags work. One of the most potent false flags in the world, in creation, is history.
Itself, yeah.
History itself is the biggest false flag of all time.
His story.
And all versions of it. All versions of it. Religious history, Western history, whatever. Even the Egyptians lied historically. Whenever they got into a scrap with somebody that they lost, that shit wasn't on the walls. You didn't see, and this L came when I fought what's his name in them. You don't see what's his name in them on the wall. You only see victories. And they might mention, this shit ain't gonna happen again. But you ain't gonna get no details of that loss.
They don't retire your number if you suck.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody gonna retire Kiki Vanderweege's number.
So I trust those who trust or who respect that I have my own reality and I get to cultivate it the way I want it, right? You know, as a psychiatrist, you'll be seen as crazy for having your own way of thinking. Straight up. What? What the fuck do you mean? What are you talking? Okay, you're outside of the box of what is considered normal.
You're autistic.
Who wrote the normal script? And it's, listen, there's scripts. Normal script, success script, love script, spirit script. Who wrote these scripts? Government script, morality script. Who wrote it? Who is the author? And if they have an agenda behind it that is connected to my subjugation, how do I, isn't it insanity to go back and trust that source?
It's ridiculous.
I got 100 angles on this.
Go ahead.
Okay. One, when you said, what are the qualifications for an individual for me to trust them? Well, trust for what? Trust on what level? Trust is not just this monolithic thing. Right. Okay, I trust you by what it is you stand to gain from whatever we are engaging in. Okay.
Wait, Jeff, I want to hear this too. What's your definition of trust?
Okay.
Because that's subjective too.
Trust is the ability to believe a person, place, or thing at its extent of what it can do for you or itself. That means I trust that this is hot and that this is good for me. I trust that's why I am drinking it, and I do not trust it to clean this table, which was the fuck up that happened earlier. Okay, I don't trust it to be able to give me directions to anywhere, because that's not what I use this for. I use this to soothe my throat, put a little apple cider vinegar in it to tune up my insides. That's what I trust it for. I trust that apple cider vinegar is in this bottle because I've heard others say it. I've seen it on the internet. I can read, and that's what it says. I trust my reading. I trust it for that. You have to be honest about your compartments, and I think that's where we get off track. People aren't honest about their compartments.
Trust is as far as you can throw a baby jumbo elephant. And simply by that, I mean,
a baby jumbo elephant.
Yeah.
When we come back, bear pussy and baby jumbo elephants.
Mud wrestling.
Now, you know, the truth of the matter is, if you're thinking it all for yourself, trust is a word you very seldom use, because it typically, every time somebody told me to trust them, man, it's went bad. It's went bad, man.
Trust. Well, the three words, trust, faith, and belief, all use each other to define each other.
Wow.
You look all three of those up, they will all use each other to define each other. So, belief or faith.
Lie.
Yeah. So, you know, you can believe
Tell
in
him,
somebody.
tell him believe.
Huh? Yeah,
What
to
do
give
you-
the lie away.
The root word is be lie.
Be lie, to give the lie away.
These
Bellalogians, to
eliminate
give the lie away.
These are more powerful than these for me. What you say is drowned out by what you do.
I was going to come back to that.
That's right. There
I
you
was going
go.
to say trust.
Yes.
Trust is only what you can experience. You can't trust anything you haven't experienced.
Can I weigh in?
Doc?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
That's not
I
smart.
work with a company in China, in Shanghai and Beijing. It's called China Foundations, and I sort of mentor the 5 or 6 people that run that, and they do cross-cultural collaboration between American expats and Chinese workers, and I guess because of my influence, and I never asked them to do anything. If you go to the website, it used to be doing business, and now it says building trust in China, and then and they said something to me. They say, you know, we don't trust Americans, but we trust you, Mark. Well, you've said that about white people. And I said, why?
That's right.
And so what they said, no,
You're
what
the
they-
only one, Doc.
what they said. What they said is what we need to do is, what you don't understand is when you're in a one-down position in the world, you believe people will hurt you and take advantage of you. And they say, we trust you because we've known you for a year and a half. We have made you $0, and yet you're committed to our success. I sort of feel the way to this group. And you have never hurt us, and you've never taken advantage of us, but we needed to see a track record. You know, nothing, you know, you can say whatever you want, but until we see a track record, we're not going to believe it. Because a lot of people have come in and said, oh, we'll do all these great things together, and then when the whiffum doesn't work out for them, they leave. So
Wow.
say something.
Quick addendum about the Chinese. They get a lot of credit for being virtuous. They just sold some fake rice to Africa last week. I'm not talking about a couple bushels either. Okay,
Bushels? What is fake rice?
Yeah, fake rice.
Well, you're telling me not to trust them. I was just talking about why they trust me. But
I'm not. You're right. That's apples and oranges. But you know, there's perceptions of people being more honorable. You know, and a lot of people think China's investing all of that money in Africa because they're just wonderful people, and that's bullshit.
But I see where Doc is going.
Yeah.
To ask, who can you trust, also leads down that slippery road of possibly winding up being just fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Skeptical of everyone and anxious, and I can't trust anybody. I don't believe anything anybody says. Well, guess what? That's closer to critical thinking than believing everything everybody tells you.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Well, just watch what they do.
I think we're losing sight on something here, and this is by design of the power elite, is doing this almost imperceptible dance between the way you look at humans one-on-one and masses and the control of them. The difference between how smart we are, the 5 of us, as opposed to when there's 500, how stupid that group of 500 people is. That you can't say, I don't trust white people, but I trust you, and then use one yardstick to define that. You have to be very clear that I'm talking about masses of people. I'm talking about if I don't trust, if the shit hits the fan, I don't trust 5,000 white people and I'm black.
But let me say this, Jeff. Dumb is on a conveyor belt in America. They're turning out dumb.
It's an aerosol spray.
It's true.
What's dumb pussy?
That's the best in the world, Doc. You ain't never had no stupid
You get some
pussy.
dumb pussy? Doc, you gonna have a baby, it's gonna be biracial.
Doc.
You have a little Tiger Woods with a dumb pussy?
It's gonna be hazardous to your wealth.
Oh, Doc, stay away from dumb pussy.
No, but what I mean by dumb is on a conveyor belt in America is this. Basic, simple example. I'm in the grocery store yesterday to get my daughter some hot wings. That's all she wants, hot wings. Okay, let's get her some hot wings. This lady was talking to some other ladies. She was talking about a bum. She was like, she had a bad experience with a bum. One bum.
And all of them are like
Now all of the bums are like
all
that.
the bums are like that.
I bet you I'll never give another bum nothing else. Blanket like that. But she doesn't see that is dumb. She doesn't see that
I see the balloon. The
it's
balloon
not
is blue.
contextual. You take a single incident, and yes, there are some mentally ill bums out there. There are some fucking
Hustlers.
some hustlers, but there are some real, genuine,
Yep,
good people
that's true.
who just down on their fucking luck, right? But to blanket license, this is how we react. We have an experience. We experienced something, and now all things in that category is in alignment with my experience of that one situation, that bad experience. That's everybody. That's how we operate. But here's the thing. Critical thinking. Critical thinking. I'm a Democrat because my mama was one. Why? Weren't we Republicans before?
Yeah.
And when we were Republicans before, what's the difference between now and then? Are the liberals our friends, or is this another form of pathological altruism where it looks like they're trying to help us, but why are the fucking abortion rates so goddamn high? Is that helping us?
I got to find it, Zoe. I got to find it and send it to you. This brother was talking. He was in an interview, and what's my man's name? Wears glasses, looks kind of like a walrus, dark-skinned dude.
Like a walrus.
Yeah. Anyway.
Damn, I don't know who you're talking about.
He was a Muslim brother defending Brother Minister Farrakhan. And he said something black people need to get through their heads is that Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, these are terms that white people use to describe each other. That don't have shit to do with you.
Wow.
It really doesn't. When you really think about it, there's not one thing you can vote on that helps black people directly, specifically, and individually. You can't.
Is that the music? I can't hear.
Yeah, that's the music. Well, listen, we have been the terrorists, and we have been the recipient of terrorism since motherfuckers been here. Since white folk came and established the government, snatched some shit from some people that was already here, we have been both terrorists and the recipient of terrorism. Bottom line is, at some point, as a community, we got to wake up and say, you know what, the narrative, the beliefs, the aspirations, the desires to be what they are, we got to stop all that. That's the real separation. It ain't just packing up and moving to another country with the same mentality we inherited here. Right. It's really fucking detoxing everything that they told you to believe was good for you. Now we got to take a quick break. I'll be back.
You know, you said.
Hey geeks, wake up! We've got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie, video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T-Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
And it's Mary Carey, of course, politically naughty with Mary Carey.
I'm always naughty. I'm always politically. My behavior is always politically
naughty.
I'm never politically correct. Dr. Drew, hi. Oh, I'm so.
Hey guys, how are you?
It's all teary-eyed, Doctor.
I know. She wished she could live at rehab.
But only if Dr. Drew's there. Obviously,
Sure.
if someone like, because a little too groping might be inappropriate. But I like the flirting and stuff.
When I walked in, you shoved my head in your.
No! Are you gonna sue me?
Get politically naughty with Mary Carey. Mondays at 4 p.m. on T-Radio V.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
So, I hope your Christmas shopping is going well. Because a lot of people are so wrapped up in getting some eggnog and Yuletide log and you know, New Year's resolutions and praying and hoping everything's going to change, while you got people who've been putting false flags together for centuries. You look at the dollar bill, it says New World Order on it, 1776, over 300 years ago. Their plan has been in effect since then. They've been turning up the water slowly but surely on the frog. And as we get closer to their agenda, their one percenters, elites, power brokers of the world, who really don't give two shakes of a fat rat's ass about all of the people they stand on their backs to be where they are, right? They don't care about them. But they're putting this in effect right now. When I see the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Bill Gates of the world, when I see them, you know, donating money to a seed bank up in the Arctic, right? Every seed in existence. Who told y'all had the right to do that? Back in medieval times, those the seeds and land, that was called the commons. Who gave y'all power over the commons? Water, land, mountains. So while we're scrambling around mad because the Confederate flag is either up or down, while we're scrambling around choosing up sides in a fictional gang that has less power than the real red and blue, Democrat and Republicans, right? We're the knockoff Blood and Crip version of it. At least the Republican Democrat version of it are in the process of creating legislation, changing the way we live, ruling the world. We don't even own the blocks we fighting each other over. The only way to be governed by a malicious government or a benevolent government, there must be fear involved. I must suppress the God in you, so you'll look to me as the authority for what you should do with your life. Right? Come to me, I'll tell you what to do with your life. Look at us as a people, as a culture. And I'm not just talking about black. You got a president who's telling us right now, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Keep shopping. Don't forget to go to your favorite sports event. He's saying that now. He said that during his press release with the president of France after France was bombed. Don't be afraid to go out to your favorite event. Obsolescence. This system will fucking melt like a snowball in the devil's ass crack if you stop putting money in it. So despite the fear, despite the explosions, keep shopping. Niggers, we need you. Shop away. We're in a crisis. Make sure your dollar stays in your community, not 6 hours, but 30 minutes. Right? Right? You're going to do this beautiful, eloquent speech about racism in America, when you know racism is the false flag that keeps us distracted from what's really happening. You know the white people who believe that they better than us, right? Better than brothers, are in the same situation we in. Who gets more food stamps in America? Black people or white people? No, but you know what? That stereotype is the false flag, goddammit. Got to keep that false flag cracking. Now, what's going to happen when the religious false flags start happening? The same people that govern you are the same people that wrote your holy books. They're waiting for the apocalypse too. They're waiting to kill off a lot of people too. So you can say this is the end times. Yes, they wrote it. If they wrote 1776 on the back of the dollar over 300 years ago, what makes you think they ain't wrote the book that you call holy? You don't have a direct experience with the author. You don't even know King James. It's laughable, but it's heartbreaking. Right? You won't support Bobby. You won't support Kevin. You won't support Jeff. Halfway support me. But you will support some bullshit. You will support bullshit. Nene Leakes is a millionaire off your dumb ass. But not just Nene, TD Jakes. Eddie Long. Eddie Long's still in business right now. Eddie Long got multiple churches across the country. Creflo Dollar. You support bullshit. But the real thing that's happening ain't gonna slap you upside your face until it's too late. You okay with praying about 50% population in privatized prisons? You okay with that? You're okay with the HIV rate amongst black women? You're okay with it. Just long as you can find some place in this false reality where you can call home. You find a nice, comfortable place in an illusion to say, this is my house. This is my perch. And better not nobody fuck with my perch. You understand? The reality is in reverse. That guy Carl, remember Carl the Seer? Did y'all ever meet Carl the Seer? He's a seer. He was on my other show. He said the real world is when you're asleep. The false world is when you're awake. Well, guess what? America flipped it on your ass. America has you awake, but you're asleep. You sleepwalking. They don't want you to really be awake, because if you're really awake, now you're responsible for what you know. Why are you still trying to get a fucking house and a mortgage when you should take the same money and get an Earthship and be off the grid and have all the amenities that a regular house would have, except you off the grid and you ain't got an electric bill? You don't have a water bill now. Well, is that shit fly? I mean, I have to look good doing things, you know. Hold on. Shit has to meet a fly meter. You know? Niggas is stupid. And niggas are white too. It's okay. I just need us to collectively come together in this most serious time. Right? Who's to say the next false flag won't happen in your neighborhood? I know the people in San Bernardino didn't think an ISIS member was just going to show up and start shooting out the blue. Who's to say the next false flag happening in Chattanooga? False flag happening in Boston, Oklahoma, all that. Who's to say the next false one ain't going to happen in your hood? Listen, it's a game with real consequences. I'm Zoe Williams. That's my final thought. Support everything that everybody here does. That's what I need. Bobby, where can they find you?
Right now, you can get at me through my website, www.realmendon'tplay.com. You don't want to take that step, just go to Amazon. And just get one and pass it on to a young person that might find somebody in this book that they would want to become. Real Men Don't Play.
It's Christmas time. Support Bobby. Kev?
YouTube video channel, Real Nagas, REELNAGAS. That's the video classroom. And we got a lot of the videos we showed today in that on that website. And also Udemy, the 8-week home booty boxing system. That's udemy.com/bootyboxing, and the promo code is ZoWhatShow.
Go to Kindle, $1.99 each of these. Listening will help you calm people down and get through to them, and talking to crazy will help you calm them down further.
Tomorrow night, I will be at the starting gate in Los Alamitos. Make your way down to that fantastic
What time?
hole in the wall. 9 o'clock. I will be doing some stand-up and telling some real shit, talking some real shit.
Listen, go buy my book. This is how we keep it. This is how we keep in business. Go buy my book. Go get some coaching. IamZoeWilliams.com. Download the app. IamZoeWilliams.com. Purchase a copy of my book today, and I'll mail it out tomorrow. Free shipping and handling. Get at me and let me know. We'll see you next Monday with another heater. Zo what? We out.
I'm that nigga that you need, the one that put that trimmer in your knees, You ain't never had one that aim to please, I'm sharp shooting till your body come for me, This dick got you running now. I tried to tell you, but you thought I was just fronting now. Eat that thing so good, I be grubbing now. No Polynesian, but you love the way I'm tonguing now. Hold up, good.
You are watching T Radio V. Radio and TV.